Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the Carbootcrafter, and I'm coming on because, well, I've just switched the camera on. I'm in the middle of doing a thank you card for a very close friend who's been lovely to me recently, and I thought it'd be great just to switch the camera on and see where we went, and hopefully it turns out like I've got it in my mind. So there's a couple of things that have kind of given me some inspiration for this card. One is the clean and simple cards that I'm seeing on YouTube. I really like the effects of being very kind of picky with your embellishments and not worrying about filling the entire card. So that's my first inspiration. And the other one was somebody on Pinterest had done some cards using let me show the packaging instead, using what do they call, garlands dies or wreath dies. And I thought, I've got loads of wreath ones and I only use them at Christmas, so wouldn't it be nice to use them for other things? So I pulled this one out. It's the least Christmassy one that I think I've got, and thought, yeah, I'll have a go using this one. So let's see how it works out. I've got my fingers crossed that this works. So and the other thing was, I thought clean and simple doesn't always have to be on white card. So I pulled these out because I really liked this card that I'm using here for the die. Really liked that colour, and I thought it goes really well with this base. So I thought, okay, we'll use this, but rather than have a white card and then pop this on the top, which I thought might distract a little bit, so I've used two pieces of the same colour card. So the base is just an A4 piece folded in half, and then I've cut my matte layer, the bit that I'm going to decorate. I've cut that at half an inch shorter than my actual base card, so we get a little bit of a lip all the way round, just to give it a bit more interest, I thought. So I'm going to pop my base to one side because we don't need that. And I've got this fabulous little stamp which is called well, it's thank you so much. Had it for ages, picked it up for about 10p at a car boot sale, and I don't think I've ever used it. Yeah, I don't think I have, because it's still in quite good condition. So I thought, yeah, thank you card, I'll use this one for a change. So I'm going to emboss the stamp. So I've got my, perhaps not use that one. It's covered in glitter. Okay, I've got some distress embossing ink, so that, yeah, that looks a lot cleaner, doesn't it? So, and I've also found, now this I haven't even opened, this was in a bundle I picked up, was it last year? I think it was, when I was out and about. So look, I haven't even opened it yet. A bundle of embossing powders and what have you. So but this is pop that there, this is copper, and I thought I was going for gold originally. That was the colour I was going to pull out, and then when I saw this I thought, you know what, I don't know what it looks like once we've embossed it, but it might be quite magical. So I've got that, got my stamp, got my embossing ink, so let's give it a go. And I've already cut my die out, so yeah, let's give it a go and see how we get on. So first of all, I'm going to put lots of embossing ink on this because it's never been used. I'm going to be quite fussy and generous with getting this ink onto the stamp. I can always give it a good wash afterwards because I don't want it to I don't want to miss any bits off. So yeah, I'm being very generous with the ink. So let's pop that to one side. Hopefully we don't need that again. I always approach these things with, I've got two sides of the card, so if things go completely wrong, I can always flip it over. I want to keep it down in this corner, so I'm just lining it up. There we go. I'm going to keep it as straight as I can. I don't want to wobble too much because I've been so generous. I know that there's ink on the background of this stamp, so I don't want to wobble it and risk getting that all on my card. And I've just remembered I completely forgot to use my static bag, but fingers crossed, hopefully this will work. So I'm being really kind of pernickety with it because I haven't used it before. I'm going to use this to collect, and hopefully I am a little bit worried because although I love this cardstock, it is quite a thick cardstock, and oh dear, and can soak up. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's not too bad. There we go. I'm going to need my little brush to get rid of a little bit of that, but that should be fine looking at that. Let's tip that back in, tap that off, and we can pop that away again. Right, let me see where my little brush has gone. I should have had it at the ready, shouldn't I? Okay, where are you? I know you're in here somewhere. There we go, my little brush. So just a little bit there at the top. There we go, get rid of that. There's a few little bits there. I'm going to be really pernickety with this and use my pokey tool just to get them moving away. If I'd have used my static bag, maybe I wouldn't have had any problems, but there we go. Right, and I've got my heat tool to one side, so just to let you know it's going to be noisy. Oh, perhaps not too noisy. Oh yeah, then again. Right, I'm going to go from the top with this. I'm just going to waft it over just to heat the card up and to blow away some of that embossing powder, and then I'm coming in and focusing in one spot at a time, and hopefully that will go. Let's start from this end. I'm a little bit worried because it's not going. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, there we go. It's starting to go. That took a while. That did take a while to start. Right. Okay, I can switch that off now. So there we go. I like that copper. That's gorgeous, isn't it? That's really nice. Right, now that I've done the stamping, let's pop those to one side, out the way. I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. I've got this one. That's far too short. Let's grab the big one, bring that in. I do like the idea of having some lines on it, so I'm just going to line it up. I don't want to go into where I've just embossed. So I'm going to come across a little bit. So I think that's the 1.5 mark. Whoops. Gosh, this card is so thick. There's the 1.5 mark, and I'm going to go I think I'm going to go 1/4 inch, and again just bring that all the way down and then go to the 1 inch. I think just 3 lines on this will do. And I've slipped out again. There we go. I'm just reinforcing those. I've slipped out a little bit, so I'm just going to go in and try and push those out, maybe from the back. Let's get rid of that. And from the back, I'm just going to rub along where I've jumped out of the channel, and hopefully, yeah, that looks a bit better. There we go. Right, So now we've got those 3 deep lines, and I've got the thank you so much on there. Now what I want to do is to get this out. So I've got I've got this out of the card. This is a really pretty card. Let me show you that bit. It's really sparkly as well, which I thought gave a little bit extra, but there are lots and lots of bits to it, so let's start poking them out. I'm really enjoying some of the videos just lately that people are putting up, especially some of the more clean and simple. I really like that. I'm normally very vintage, and you know, I like to use my embossing inks to grunge things up a little bit, and messy stuff, sprays and paints and all sorts, I'm usually very well into, but at the moment I'm really liking clean and simple. Don't think I'm going to be forever in the clean and simple zone, but I think right now I'm really enjoying it, and it kind of takes the pressure off, I think, as well, because you're not thinking I have to fill that space or I have to match this paper up with that, because that in itself can be a nuisance, can't it? You want to use a particular element or a particular piece of cardstock or paper, and then trying to match everything else up with it, you know, can be quite a challenge. And I haven't got all the fancy electronic equipment that that cuts and colours and paints, or you know, whatever, scan and cuts, and some of the posh what they call crickets. I haven't got any of those, so that you could kind of colour match things a bit easier. And I don't tend to buy whole collections of things either, because if you get a whole collection, sometimes that can be useful. Although I must admit, I have purchased things in the past which are supposed to be matching, and then when you get them back, you think, well, these don't match. You know, sets, card making sets, usually, even from some of the, should we say, more well-known brands, sometimes their colouring is not the best. So when you come to, you know, make things, you're still left frustrated because your things don't necessarily match. Right, that is my die cut done. Look at that, isn't that a pretty little die? That's so pretty, and I think it goes so well with this paper. So I want to put it there so it kind of sits to one side. So let me grab my glues. Now I don't know what's happened to this. It's gone really cloudy. It is supposed to be the clear PVA from the works, but I don't know. It's white at the bottom. I don't know. Have I accidentally done something to it? I don't know. I don't remember adding anything to it, or you know, other than giving it a shake, which I suppose might, you know, do something to it, but I wouldn't have thought it would change the colour of it. Maybe a few bubbles in there, but not from clear to white, I wouldn't have thought. So if anyone's had the same, do let me know, especially if you know what I can do to solve it, because I do like using the clear, especially on, I mean, this is not as fussy as some dies that I've got, but yeah, I do like to use it on my more ornate dies. So I think that's enough. So let's turn that over and pop that on there. And because I've glued it all over, I wanted to make sure I landed exactly where I wanted it to go. So let's just push that out the way. So that's, I think that's where I want it. And I've also got these which I think match really well, especially these ones. So I'm going to use one of these on it as well. So let me, I've had this pack for Buzzcraft. Apart from these, I don't think I've ever heard of them before, but I've had these for years, and as you can see, I've never even opened them. So yeah, nice to get them out and use them. It took me a while to find them, actually. You know, when you know that they're there, they're in your head, but you can't think, where have I put them? I mean, I've had them that long that they just ended up buried under everything else. So let's get that out. Pop that to one side. Now, I know I don't want the big ones. I think they're going to be far too big for on this. So I thought either this size or this size. So I'm going to get them both out. Now I know that these are already die cut. Oops. Let me grab my, there we go. That, pop that on there. And I can use my bone folder to push it out. Those pips can be a little bit of a nuisance sometimes, can't they? Especially if they're quite stubborn, like that one was. Now, which was the other one? There it is, this one up here. So just run my bone folder over it, and that should start to release. Yes, almost release, just that one. So I've got those two. Let's move that out the way. Now then, what do I think? That one or that one? Let me turn it round. I think that looks a bit small. Perhaps that one. Although, what I want is something halfway through, isn't it? Halfway between the two. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one, I think. So let me grab some dimensionals. And because I've used my bone folder to push it out, it's already got some dimension on it. But I'm just going to put some more on it on this side as well. There we go. So there we go. And then we can get our dimensionals on to here. I'm not going to go mad. I think 2 on each wing should be more than sufficient for the butterfly. And on the bottom, pop them to one side. I'm just going to bring that so that the wings are up and the body's down. And let's take these off. And I'm quite enjoying how this is turning out, actually. It's nice to have a plan and something in your head, and then it actually works. With most of the things I do, I kind of do it first, play around, and then maybe put the video on. Right, so I want to pop it there. In fact, if I put it here, that line, it will hide. So I'm just going to pop it there. Yeah, I think that will do. Right, now I want to pop it on here, but I think I want to raise it up a bit, give it even more dimensions. So I've got some double-sided tape here. Let's grab my old scissors. I don't want to gunge up my my tonic ones, and we can start putting this together. So this is double-sided tape from Poundland, which I'm really liking. It's kind of, I think this one's better than the old one that they used to have. It's still very sticky, but it's not as stretchy sticky as the other stuff used to be. I hope that makes sense to you, but Yeah, the other stuff was quite stretchy, sticky, and was a bit frustrating at times to use. So I think this one is much better. I'm not going to go too mad, just a few bits to support it while it's on the card and to hold it in place. So there's another one. That should be enough, I think. And take these off. Yeah, I use my wreaths, or what do they call it on the thing? Garlands, they're calling it on there. I use them at Christmas, but I never think to use them at any other time of the year. And when I went on Pinterest, there's a couple of posts that have used them, not just for winter birthdays, because I guess you could use them very easily for like December or even early January birthdays, but they'd used them all year round. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is a trick that I'm missing out on. You know, maybe I should be looking at my dies and using them all year round. That's a bit too far over. The only problem using this stuff is it grabs as soon as you try and put it down. Right, let me do it this way instead. Maybe that'll be easier. Why is it so much easier to do this when there's nothing sticky behind them? Okay, so I'm just going to do that. And I was thinking, which is why I've already got them to hand, I was thinking about using those ones, and they are copper, so they kind of match them, but then I think they're a bit almost clashy with that, so I'm not going to use those ones, but I might use these and put a couple of these down here just to give it a little bit more interest down here, and just put them randomly actually. So remember the rule of odd rather than even, so I'm just going to use 3, I think. Oops, that one doesn't want to come off. Let's try that one. Come on, you know you want to. No, it doesn't. The only problem, it doesn't always come off with the glue attached to it. No, that's not coming off with the glue. Let's go to this end instead and try this one. Come on. No, that one hasn't. Oh, how very odd. First 2 worked a dream and then nothing. Right, okay, let's try something else. No, that one hasn't either. How very strange. Right, okay, let's see if I can get under that, the glue as well as the pearl. There we go, got you. I'm going to pop that one there, I think. So it's a little bit random, but we still got that kind of triangle. And there you go. I really, really like that. In fact, it's turned out so much better than I thought it would. Love the copper. So I might be using that embossing. That's Paper Mania embossing in copper. So I'm really pleased with that. I think all I've got to do now is to put some, I'm going to cut some copy paper down and put it inside and stamp a thank you on that. And that is my card all finished. Well, I hope you like it, and I hope you get that, you know, that clean and simple doesn't have to be white all the time, and that things like these little the little lines here, hopefully that's picking it up with a little bit of shadow, that can just give you a little hint of interest in your card. And yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I hope you like it, and I'm going to see you next video. You take care. Bye for now.